looks like Mr. Hunter is in the green room and ready to rock and roll. So let's go.
Yo, it's crazy getting like heavyweights in here that you're bigger than that.
Nah, man. Mike actually slimmed down for this one. And I'm going to assume it's because Hughie Fury is a boxer, right? So, you're going to have to either catch up to him or cut the ring off to get him out of there. But buenos dias, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
How are you? And how are you, my friend? You going to come on? All right. You might want to stand in front of that mic in case them questions come at you. But so you're up Mount Charleston?
Yeah. We it's a training method. We go up the mountain. We don't really do too much training there. But we just stay up there and get good recovery.
Get that high altitude, huh? So you chose to slim down for this one. Again, am I spot on? Is it because Hughie is more of a mover, or do you want to be the mover? Are you trying to be more elusive in this fight?
I think that goes, hand in hand. We know that he's not a big, bloke, and he's not heavy. He tries to be light on his feet. He kind of fights off the back foot. So I didn't think the weight would matter at that point.
Okay. So obviously, I'm sure you guys have been watching tape. Any thoughts? Did you check out the Pulev versus Hughie fight? Is that the one you're looking at, or is there another one that made more sense?
No, actually, all of his losses, we've took a look at Povetkin,
Joe Parker.
Yeah, we're all kind of like the similar, heights and stuff like that. So it was really good to, good look.
Now, Parker, that fight, I don't know. You guys have a different style. I feel like you use the ring differently than he does. He's always behind his jab, where you're kind of a little more lateral movement. Am I right there or no?
Yeah. I think, to beat him, we're going to have to come forward and be aggressive and, throw a lot of punches.
So, Mike, I know today or yesterday night, I know I woke up to it, Dan Rayfield is reporting that Triller hasn't paid Kovalev and the Pulev brothers. Were you paid?
I was paid on my fights, but there was some stuff that I wasn't paid on as far as I did
promos?
I was a commentator. I did the commentation, and I actually paid for my own flight and all that, and they had agreed and told me that they were gonna, pay me and stuff, but they never did.
So they said we would reimburse you. Go ahead, book it.
That's right. And they would pay me for actually the commentation, but I never heard anything. So.
And what, you just had your people stop looking into it, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah. I wasn't, tripping, and even in the Jerry Forrest fight. I was supposed to be the main event on there, and I ended up being the B-side on my own show. Barely got on the show, but and they took my money down as far as my paycheck was, which I already had on contract, which
So they paid you outside less than what the contract stated.
That's right.
Did you end up recouping it in the long run?
No.
Damn. So how much?
So what? They just stop answering calls? What the hell?
Yeah.
So they on some gangster shit over there.
Yeah, this is how the business go. The boxers is, kind of get beat everywhere around. So
what do you feel it's a situation that hiring an attorney to seek the remainder is going to cost you more than what's owed?
Nah, actually no, because it was a nice little chunk of change. But this is my career, so I've always dealt with things like this, and I know how boxing goes, and I just took it with a grain of rice, and I've always taken steps forward in my career, so I don't have no animosity or vengeance on trying to get my money back or whatever. I'm just going to continue to keep moving.
Speaking of that career, how do you interpret the way that it's been played out, right? Like, obviously, from the outside looking in, you were with PBC, then you were with Dazn, then you were with Triller, now you're on Boxer. Is it like better for you to, have the variety of different networks and get more exposure from a global standpoint? Or do you feel it's been a sense of not having security.
Yeah, I think more of not having the security. These guys, every major company has a handpicked group of guys that they put their energy behind. I heard you guys just talking to Ishe and stuff like that, and with the Mayweather promotion, and these guys they have a selected few that they want to deal with and that they're willing to deal with, and I just haven't been picked yet, so that's what we're looking to do for Boxer eventually. After I beat this guy up in good fashion, and we'll see where it goes from there, because they'll have to put some type of energy behind me as far as the Eliminator and stuff. We'll be fighting the winner out of Trevor Bryan or Daniel Dubois, and we'll see what goes from there.
So this is not a one and done. You have multi-fight deal.
Yeah, obviously, especially because of the tournament. Well, not a tournament, but the Eliminator.
So yes, you're saying this fight is for a title eliminator, so you're getting an interim? Because I keep hearing you in the gym saying we're bringing it back home.
Yeah. I have a interim belt, and so I'll be fighting for my interim belt here. WBA against Hughie Fury, and then which will put me in the rankings and whoever the wins out of Trevor Bryan.
Because the WBA is trying to consolidate. So you're going to be in a position where Tank and Rolly were in, where Rolly was the interim, Tank is the regular, but you had the fight to get rid of one of those belts being your interim.
That's right.
Nice. I didn't even know you was the interim champion WBA. When that happened?
I think I fought a few times with Mike Wilson, and I'm not sure which one I got it from, but it was recent.
What's your thoughts on Trevor Bryan? He's been training here in Bones Adams' gym and might have left already to the UK, not sure, but he's been at Bones Adams.
Fights here in Miami.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's next week.
That's right, because it's Don King promotion. But anyway, Larry Holmes has been in the gym with him, bro.
Yeah, I've been missing Larry. That's a friend of my family's, and I haven't caught him yet. But Trevor Bryan, I was with him in the amateurs. I think if he seems to be more motivated than normal. I think if he gets in shape, he'll cause some trouble. We haven't seen the best out of Trevor, and he's been kind of inactive. Has been ups and downs and stuff like that. But I think he could pose a threat to Daniel.
How well do you know Trevor?
I know him. We was in the amateurs together. We went. He was part of my training when I went to an international tournament and stuff like that.
Have you sparred?
Yeah,
So I gotta ask, man. I'm a betting man. I like to, I'm not doing this shit 11 years and not making money off y'all fighting every now and then. So I've been in the gym with him, but my nickname is Kickstand. That leg look fucking weird, bro.
What?
You ain't never seen that leg. You gonna act like you ain't seen that leg?
No, I haven't seen him in a while. I sparred him when we were amateurs, so it's been a long time, years since I've actually seen him personally, and yeah.
Something wrong with that leg, man.
Which leg, the left or right?
The left is even missing calf muscle. I'm telling you. I don't know how long that surgery, how old. I never seen him, bro. Trevor Bryan's been like a ghost.
Yeah,
he been a WBA regular for as long as I've been doing this shit, and I just seen him this year. It's insane to me. I lived in Florida. I've been to training camps with Thurman and Louis Ortiz.
We've been in the gym with Stacy.
We've been to his gym, and I ain't never seen him till now. I went to Stacy, was it McKinley?
Yeah,
just to train Tyson. But anyway, something wrong with that leg.
Yeah.
But he still moves so good. That's why I'm like, is it some sort of childhood surgery that they just fucked up on the, maybe it needs plastic surgery? I don't know, but I'm shocked you ain't see that shit.
Nah, I don't remember that. I know he's a big boy, and I think if he's been training, he seems like he's been training, and I think it's gonna be a good fight.
He looked decent.
I
never see even the Bermain fight. I wasn't buying that pay-per-view from Don, so I ain't even see the Bermain fight. But watching him in the gym, he looked good. I'm just afraid of that leg.
Yeah, well, Daniel got some problems too now, so
What you mean the eye?
The eye.
You don't think it's healed by now?
I mean,
Ain't that like 2 years ago?
yeah, but
Them bones never heal.
Yeah, it's there. So you could go right back to it. So
It's interesting because remember, Kell Brooks broke with the Gennady fight, but Earl broke the other side versus the side that was already damaged.
Mm-hmm.
You think that the surgery reinforces it, makes it stronger, or is just as tender?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I know if I was Trevor, I would be aiming for that eye.
Well, we definitely got some questions from the people. Rue in a 504, which is New Orleans. He says, looking back on the decision to decline the Hrgovic fight, would you change anything?
Nah. I have a hard time saying I would change anything. I always just keep it moving, just as far as like them being funny with my money. I wouldn't even change it. These are things that we live and learn, and we grow from. So the experience is worth more than anything. So I do wish I kind of do wish I would have fought him in a different capacity. I mean, that was my whole intention. Why I even went to Florida. I went to Florida to find Triller. They was undefeated when it came to purse bids, and that was my whole idea. To fight Hrgovic on our terms, but it didn't go like that, and it was a lot of little dirty stuff that went around when it comes to the business. A lot of the fans don't get to see, so I wouldn't change it though.
Fans like to say, oh, you turned down the Hrgovic fight to fight XYZ for XYZ. Is it safe to say that not taking a Hrgovic fight was financially a better decision for you, or did that not work out the way that it would have because they didn't fully pay out what they should have?
Nah, it was still financially probably a better deal. I think as far as the move, maybe we don't know how the whole thing was going to go down, but I think it was I think I did the right thing. Basically, I'm out here. I've always been on the B side, so we got to protect ourselves a little bit more. We got to be a little bit more wary about certain different things outside of the ring. These tactics have been around for a long time. They send people and all sorts of stuff to your room, and you might not get the same water. You might the timing and everything is a lot different when.
Wow, you believe in all those conspiracies?
I live it, so.
You feel you've gotten sent contaminated water?
I felt like that. Yeah, I've been on the how can I say it? I won't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said, "Yeah."
So do you think Devin should stay away from the food and the water in Australia? Because if you think it's happening to you on American soil,
well, this is what I think is. Yes, I think he should have a personal chef. And
he does, which he does.
Right.
He has his chef and his nutritionist out there.
Yes, I think you definitely need a team for that. When you go to these fights and these big events, and you're going across the water, you need to have no questions. You need to check mark everything because everything is on you. You know what I'm saying? So. You can't put it on the promotion. Don't think that they're gonna be there for you when you the B side. It's not.
So do you think Devin's the B side? Because George isn't signed to Top Rank. Devin is Top Rank. Devin's bringing the money and the television. Do you think that it's just Bob and his team sees that Devin is the better fighter and they're investing in the better fighter?
Yeah, it could be a little bit of that too, but. They probably got their hands in both, obviously, and he's going across the water is all I'm saying. So when you go into somebody else's territory, it's you have to keep your eyes out, open and stay alert. You never know what's going on. You don't know who knows who, and you have to protect yourself at all times. That's the first and only rule, and when you get in that ring. So you have to, like Ishe said. 100% in and 100% out. You have to continue to do your due diligence because when something does happen, you have to look at yourself and what you did.
Was there any other option other than Hughie Fury, when offered this fight, or was he the only option for this particular fight with Boxer?
Yeah, he was the only particular fight. I think they only have that's the only heavyweight they got right now. So I think that that was the only deal, and the WBA was obviously involved and had ordered the Eliminator, so that played a part as well. We were thinking all sorts of different avenues as far as taking it to purse bid again, and but Ben and they've done really good on the negotiations and just doing their due diligence, and it seemed like it was very nice. I couldn't pass it up.
Mm-hmm. You guys have pretty much coming off the same amount of layoff. Obviously, he's got 2 more months than you. Does that give you an advantage that you were able to get that last fight in with Forrest?
Maybe not. I didn't really perform to my best of my abilities. I literally got food poisoning the day of, and so I'm not really sure if that gonna make a difference. I think that me being who I am as far as doing my work outside of the ring, we've already kind of been preparing since April. We knew we were gonna get some type of fight, so we were kind of already ahead of the game, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor.
So when are you getting out there? Because we're now exactly a month away. So when do you guys plan to get out to Manchester?
I think we got like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks left. We'll be there about maybe 12 days.
Okay.
About 2 weeks prior, and we'll settle in. And I wanted to go out there a little bit early, but we couldn't get the deal done as early as I would like it to. Sometimes these things take a lot more time, and but ideally I wanted to go out there and campaign and be all in the city. Looking for him.
We got Coach Myers in Connecticut. He says, I see that you're critical on Hughie Fury saying he can't punch going into this fight. We all thought Tyson Fury couldn't punch either for most of his career, and then he stopped Wilder. What do you say to that?
I think Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury are 2 different fighters. We know that, Hughie, anybody that's over 200 pounds, you have to respect their punch. And we're not saying that, he's just pillow hands or not. But Tyson Fury's been fighting for a long time. I fought him in the amateurs, and he's not, he's a totally different animal when it comes to, the fight game. So I think Hughie's, he doesn't come forward as much. He likes to fight off his back foot, and I don't think his aim is to punch hard. So, I think it's just a strategy type of situation.
From San Antonio, Texas, we got James Valdez that says, Usyk versus AJ2, who wins and how? And and does Robert Garcia make the difference?
Ooh. Honestly, I don't know if Robert's gonna make a difference. He could, he does have, Mikey Garcia, who's very fundamental. So he could maybe take some stuff from him. I think that he could make a difference, depending on how the crowd goes. I think he lost his best opportunity to win was the first fight. If he would have just fought the boy instead of trying to box the boy, then he would have had a better chance. He's the bigger guy in the ring, so his presence is going to be felt more. Usyk was going to have to come and box him, but I think that he just took the wrong tactics. Sometimes it's not about the best fighter; it's about who has the best strategy that night. And I think that he just from experience or lack of thereof, I think he and I had said it prior to the fight that I knew that he was gonna try to box the boxer, which was the wrong idea. Because that they were calling him a boxer from the Pulev fight, and he did very well. I think that he should have fought him. And now this second fight, I'm not sure if he's gonna get that same aspect of just being able to just throw punches and win the fight. I think he's going to have to do a little bit more because he's already lost, and now he has to beat the champion.
But what's wrong with the first game plan? And by that, I mean the one that the world thought he didn't choose to do, which was just beat the smaller man up, walk his ass down.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. I think this time is going to be a little bit different because he's has to go get the belt. So now you have to beat the champ. You're going to have to fight him a little bit more, and the narrative has changed a little bit. I think originally all Anthony Joshua had to do was throw punches and fight the guy, but I don't think that might be a little different this time.
All right, looks like we got Cisco Promotions. It says, how would you rate your performance against Jerry Forrest, and what did you come out of that fight learning?
I feel like I did very poor when it comes to my performance, but it wasn't nothing detrimental to me. I hope, I'm a guy that's in secrecy, so I hope somebody that's they try me with that fight, because I know that the situation wasn't fully, I wasn't at my full capacity, and the thing I learned from that fight is protect yourself at all times. Most of the time it's stuff outside of the fight, prior to the fight, that you get messed up and things change up. I was originally that date and that show was all based around Michael Hunter, and a week later the card came out and I wasn't even on the show at all, and I had to beg and plead because they didn't want to even have me on the show at all. I had to beg and plead and told them to do not take food off my table. That's the only reason I got that fight. And nobody wanted me to take that fight, none of my team and none of that. But, it was a lot of different things going on, and we lost a lot of strength when it came to the business side. And then it was a lot of, I ended up fighting somebody. I ended up fighting Jerry Forrest on their promotional on their show when I was the only heavyweight signed to Triller, so. It was just a lot of things. You got to protect yourself at all time, in and out of the ring, and that's the biggest thing I learned.
For sure. Obviously, we've been talking Shakur Stevenson's latest quote, so I wanted to get your thoughts. And I quote, "I am better than Tank. He might not like it, but it's the truth. I don't lose rounds." How do you see a fight with Shakur and Tank? And multiple part question, like, is it too soon to be talking about that fight? Do you believe it happens, and how does it play out?
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it should happen. We already know that, Tank's a great fighter. We know Shakur's a great fighter. They've already done a lot of stuff, and I think maybe you could probably maximize the money, but. As fans, we want to see the best fight the best, and I think that if that fight was to happen, everybody's gonna come watch it. I don't know who would win. I do agree that Shakur, what he said, he doesn't lose rounds, but sometimes these fights ain't about rounds. As you've seen in the Tank fight. He was losing. I think he was losing most of those rounds. I think he won maybe one, but the ending factor is he got the KO. So,
in fights like that, do you even want to see a rematch? I mean, Broly was calling for. He's like, I won every round, which I don't necessarily agree with that, but he definitely had his moments.
Tank's quote was, "When you get knocked out like that, you don't deserve a rematch."
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all business. I personally wouldn't care for it. I think he would probably do a little better this time, but all the stuff that all the build up and all the talk and all that, you can't go out like that, and want a rematch. Like you said, he may have won the rounds, but some of those were arguable. So it's not like he was clearly like over, just pounding on him and then he just got hit. It would be different if it was like that. But it was still getting. It was still in the fight. It wasn't even in the middle of the fight yet, and we know that if you know Gervonta, he's subscribed to the Floyd Mayweather, style and mindset. So if he's gonna lose any rounds, he's gonna lose them early.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened at the end?
Yes, sir. I mean, but do you see Shakur getting hit with a counter that he can't even recover from?
I think that the fight will be a little different. I think that I'm not sure that's a good fight, but I don't see Shakur just out boxing him and out touching him like he does with a lot of other fighters. I don't see that happening. I see he's gonna definitely get hit a little bit more, and I think it'll be a different game plan. I think Gervonta's a very smart fighter. He has a smart team and a good team behind him. So I think it would be very interesting.
Being here in Vegas and from Vegas, I can't, not ask you about Devin Haney, who's currently a resident of Vegas, but having to go to Australia for this fight. What's your thoughts between he and Kambosos Saturday night?
I think Devin Haney is a special dude for that. That takes a lot of heart to go away out there so far and never been, you've never been away from your dad and never even fought on the B side before, never fought outside of the States. And to go do that, that shows a lot of heart.
Well, he fought in Mexico hella times.
Yeah, but he wasn't the B side.
Oh, in Mexico? A black man in Mexico? I'm pretty sure he was the B side.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Well, I get you. You do got to pay for those fights.
Yeah, so I think that this is definitely a different, narrative, and I think he should win. If he's Devin Haney and he beats Devin Haney and doesn't let anything else, get the best of him, and he just goes out there and performs, and everything is working on all cylinders. I think that he should come out with this win. I think it'll be very admirable for him to do so, and I think that we should give the boy credit when he does come out with the W.
Over under, or he is a decision?
I think it's going to be a decision. I think that I don't see Devin really stopping him with all the hype and all the energy and everything that's going on. I think that Devin would play it safer and use his legs, which he should do, use his legs and just box the boy and make it an easy night. I think that, that's what he should do. I don't think he should get in no gunfights and, prove himself or have an ego. I think that kind of what happened to T.O. I kind of got in the hype and got kind of mixed up, but I feel like T.O. should have won that fight if he would have just had his mind on right. And that's not just it's all tactics. It's all the night of the fight. So the guys that we're competing with are all world-class fighters. So sometimes it's just about that night.
Going back to you, Brian is actually a plus 500 and Dubois is a minus 1010, which is 1,010, which bookies don't think he losing. So have you given thought to Dubois and yourself in the ring, and how would you deal with it, especially knowing he had a super difficult time with Joe Joyce's jab?
Yeah. I'm a jabber myself. I would like that fight. I think that's a good fight for me. Most of the time, I've had a hard learning curve as far as my style. I'm a guy who likes to fight going backwards. I'm better at fighting off the back foot. But my whole career, I've had to, come forward and, be the aggressor, just because of the narrative. And I think that fight I would actually be able to box and, be able, because we know Daniel's going to come forward. So that would be a good ideal fight for me.
So our correspondent in the United Kingdom did an interview with Eddie Hearn a few minutes ago, and Eddie made it clear that Mayweather Promotions has sent, he didn't say stop and decease, but he says Mayweather Promotions sent him a legal letter telling him to stop talking about signing Gervonta Tank Davis because he remains under contract with them. Your thoughts?
I didn't know. I thought that was the fight.
No, this is all breaking news. It just happened.
Oh, yeah. I think, everybody's going to, when you hear you're a free agent and it's the last fight and blah, 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 I think he did the right move. He did what he was supposed to do.
He being Eddie.
Yeah.
And what is your thoughts on that? Should Tank explore other options? You've been a guy that's been around every network.
Yeah, I think Tank should not leave. Even though I overheard Ishay was talking about the
toxic relationship.
The toxic relationship. It is toxic. I see it. And we know that they bump heads, and I agree with him. I don't think it will ever be smooth sailing, but sometimes it seems to be working right now. It seems to be Tank can fight. So he can fight well enough to have these situations, and he's still doing a lot better than a lot of other fighters right now as far as in his position. I don't see him. I don't think anybody else will be better or do a better job.
But what about leaving Mayweather and being more like Earl? Like Earl is just with Al, uses the promoter that Al chooses to use, and still does the most pay-per-views of any fighter on the PBC side, not named Deontay Wilder.
I think that Floyd's too close to Al, and I think that the team and everything is just too much of a mix-up. I think that that would be a kind of a bad move because, Floyd is Floyd, And
so you think Tank isn't capable of just staying with Al because of the relationship that Al has with Floyd? He'll give Floyd some loyalty, like, all right, I won't fuck with him if you not?
Yeah, I don't know if he won't mess with him, but I think that it will be a little tainted. It'll be something to go all wrong. It's like too close, too close. The teams and all that are too close, the relationships. So I think if he's going to stay with Al, he might as well continue to do the whole Floyd situation.
Why did you leave Al? I mean, at a time that you were with PBC, obviously Deontay Wilder had a title. They had plenty of heavyweights. You fought Collides, right? I believe they also had Gerald Washington, Andy Ruiz, Adam Kovnacki.
When I fought Collides, I begged for these fights. I had no fights. They didn't even give me no fights. And when I looked on the paper of how much I was getting paid, now it was 4 heavyweight fights, or 3-4 heavyweight fights on that card. So it was a group of us that could have fought any of us. We all could have fought. We were all kind of say who wants to fight who.
Yeah.
And I got picked from basically the hardest fighter out of that group.
Who was that?
Collides.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody else wanted to fight him.
He did drop. In retrospect, he put down F.A. Ajagba.
Yeah, and I think that when I seen the paper, I looked at the paper,
mm-hmm.
and you could see everybody's payment on the paper.
Okay.
And I was way up under. I was the lowest paid, and I had the hardest fight, and.
What were the other fights to see if the fans agree on that hardest fight?
Oh, it was Gerald Washington and No Fire.
Yeah. Okay, that was easy.
Alexander, what's his name?
Dmytrenko?
No,
Scott Alexander.
Scott Alexander.
Okay.
And
Charles Martin?
No, what's his name? Trevor.
You said Scott Alexander?
Travis Scott. What's his name? Dang.
Scott Alexander. I'll tell you exactly who it was. One second.
Yeah, he fought
Chris Arreola?
No, white kid from Philly.
I don't know. I was about to say Sonny
Travis
Conto.
Kaufman.
Travis Kaufman.
And then it was me and Kalati. And I might be missing one more, but those 3 fights, that's what.
And to be fair, for those that may not remember, your fighter was trained by Freddie at the time. Freddie Roach.
That's right. And
so it was Gerald Washington, John versus
No Fire.
Yeah, versus No Fire, Kaufman and Alexander, and then those were the only heavyweight fights on that card.
And me and Kalati.
Yeah, you and Kalati.
So that's what, 6 fights, right? 6 fighters. We all could have mixed it up. And I seen that paper. I got paid. I was way under Gerald Washington when Gerald Washington, no disrespect, but Gerald Washington wasn't even boxing when I was boxing. You know what I'm saying? I had already.
Let alone the amateur background.
Yeah.
So you felt some type of way about the pay.
Yes. And
but to be fair, was Gerald already in that Wilder fight?
No.
Oh, wow.
This is all.
That was him coming off back-to-back knockout losses.
Oof. That's another thing. They gave him a bone, champ.
Yeah. So, then I didn't fight for a whole year when I fought Usyk, and I got that fight. That was my fight. I'm the one that found that fight, and I told them.
Yeah, it was after the Wilder. So it was Wilder and then Big Baby, back-to-back losses.
Yeah, that's Al showing him some love. You just went through the ringer. You got knocked out by Wilder, and then we put you in there with fucking Big Baby to ring you around too. So they was showing some love.
Yeah, PBC didn't want to embrace him until they beat the Bukoli fight, and then that's when PBC sent him a representative when he fought Ustinov. So and he told Al actually called him right before he walked into the ring.
Wait, but wasn't your Ustinov fight on DAZN?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is I left. That's when I left, and I was, down and out, and I had to go take that Martin Bacoli fight for pennies, and I did what I did.
Which is crazy, champ. Did you see what he did to Yoka?
Yeah, and I felt like he I seen Yoka. He doesn't move that well.
Man, you could have fooled me. I seen Yoka and I said that boy is technically his hands stay tight. That jab is so straight, and then he comes with the right. But like, wow, Bacoli was just on some clubbing shit.
Yeah,
the hooks looked weird too. It wasn't like traditional. He's just like boom, boom.
Yeah. He's strong with them slaps too, boy. He'll slap you.
Listen. Tony Yoka made him look like he changed the perception. I didn't know when you fought him. You couldn't tell Bacoli had that much power.
Right.
Like, after fighting Yoka, I'm like, damn, I didn't know he could punch like that. Because that shit looked like everything was hurting Yoka.
Yeah, my team had talked about it. We knew that we weren't gonna get credit for that until much later down the career. Mm-hmm. I had bet on myself on that fight.
Those are 2 good wins that are shining in retrospect, Again, Ajagba was this nightmare, and he was touted as a puncher and someone you beat pretty easily.
Even a
dropped
Jogba. I mean, he wasn't around when I was with them. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of pushed under the rug.
But you think the Ajagba thing? I feel like that stems from Ronnie and Shelly.
Yeah,
so Shelly was
business.
Ajagba's manager. Took him to Ronnie. Those 2 are fucking. They've been in the sport as long as your dad, and they're still in the sport. So it's like, I think names like that get favor. Like, look at Robert. He just got a big time.
Yeah, no, I agree. But, it is what it is. I was with them, and, my mom went to school with Sammy Watson. So,
so you thought you would get better treatment?
Yeah. And even for like I said, the Usyk fight, I didn't fight for 11 months. And I was the one that begged for that fight, and that was under, the Al Heyman, regime, and I was down and out. So I had always been struggling with PBC. They never, it was nothing that they did for me. Mm-hmm. That was the whole thing with them.
How does this change? You beat Hughie. You go ahead and you beat winner of Dubois and Bryant. What is Boxer telling? Like, do they have the money to fucking compete with Eddie? Because Eddie ain't, like, if AJ wins that belt back, what can Boxer do? They're not going to do a deal with DAZN, or have they told you otherwise?
No. I know that DAZN kind of has to deal with Sky Sports, because Sky Sports is like the ESPN. They're the big guys. Mm-hmm. They have the Premier Football League and stuff like that. So they have the money. They have the strength and capacity to compete with Dazn. And even their main fighters still have to work through Sky Sports. Heard AJ was doing a deal with Sky Sports. I think Dillian White and Joseph Parker, they all have Sky Sports contracts. So
there's a way for it to work if you win.
Yes, I totally agree.
So I'm assuming that, the pot at the end of this rainbow is you believe a fight with AJ, or would you rather Usyk win since he has that win over you? What's more important to you? Do you think AJ, the popularity, the money that he brings, or Usyk being the true champion plus avenging the loss?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm going to have to go with Usyk. I'm a fighter by nature, so, I slapped the ground and I wanted that back the next day. If you check that, there's a little secret in there in that tail of the tape. If you look at the tail of the tape, you'll see that I wasn't working at my full capacity, and these are things that.
And you see that by what? By the weight, your fight night weight, or your weigh-in weight?
The weigh-in and the fight night weight. If you go look at it, you'll see there's a little something there different, like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. People still, say that I was the toughest fight and blah, blah, blah. But if I had a choice, I need that one back.
Now, you can't get the AJ fight. Sky Sports, Dazn can't come to an agreement at that moment. Would you take a Dillian White fight?
Yeah, I would take Dillian White all day long. I know that these fights are going to be very hard for me to get. They've always been hard for me to get. I was literally.
You think now, even with White losing 3 times, he still won't fight you?
Yes, I still think he won't fight me. You got to remember I was with Dazn, when they decided to go across the board and do a fight with Andy Ruiz. When I was very close to them. So I think that the fighters themselves and also the company. Now he might have lost strength when it comes to the, like you said, the business part where he might be kind of pushed to fight me in a certain light, but I don't think that he would.
Yeah, he's still a draw, I'm assuming. Not a draw, but still does decent numbers on pay-per-view UK. New York Bullet in New York obviously says, "What's good, champ? Respect from the BX. If you can test your skills against any heavyweight legend of your choice, who would it be? Blessings."
My father.
What? Fight your own dad?
Yeah, just to test.
So he never sparred with you?
I sparred with him when I was young. I was very young. Like you said, Ishay, we used to be in the gym. Ishay's an OG, man. I used to be over there at Nevada Partners and the other boxing gym that Mike Tyson and them used to, my dad was Mike Tyson's sparring partner. So they used to be, I forgot what the gym was called, but so if I sparred him maybe one time when I was getting, getting a little older. I wasn't really into boxing quite yet, but I grew up in the gym, so I used to mess around with him. But yeah, I would like to test my skills against my father. There's no one other than that, I could say.
So talk to us about your brother, man. I did an interview right before the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. It did very, very well. So many people. Honestly, I've never seen that many people talk so highly about someone's personality, man. He rubbed everybody the right way. I got lucky because he sparred both Tank and Rolly.
Yeah. But
what's your thoughts, man? He was a welterweight and he's down at 135.
Yeah, I mean, he's like my father. My he has a certain mentality. He's never had an extensive amateur, background. I was lucky to have that, so I know about weight, and I was even a cruiserweight in the amateurs, so I know about making weight, and and even other fighters around me making weight and stuff like that. He never really got that. He fought a lot of local shows, and he has that kind of like heavyweight mentality. Like he just gonna go in whatever weight he walks in at, and that's what he's been doing most of his career. he just walks around. You know, he's we call him microwave hunter. He's a thin band. So he's slim. You know, he just, he doesn't have to really lose too much weight, but he could definitely cut down in weight. He doesn't cut. He doesn't lose. He eats before the fight. He eats after the fight. He has no, he has no care in the world when it comes to that weight class stuff. So this is his first time. We're kind of starting to push him into making weights and stuff like that, and letting them know that they're gonna it's gonna be a much easier route for him to do so. And actually get his mind in the game when it comes to that. But yeah, man, my brother's a solid, young kid, and that's my fam, man.
So, how much of a threat or of a chance does he have at 35? Because I feel like he's 6 feet or at least 5'11".
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's every bit of that.
And again, he's a welterweight moving down 2 divisions, so he's gonna have now size over these guys at 35. Can he be a legitimate threat there?
Absolutely. He's very strong for his, that wiry, he's like a Deontay Wilder. He just actually can box a little bit better. He's very strong and wiry, so I think that those things give people problems. And he's not a traditional, boxer because of the lack of amateur background that he's had. So he has he's wiry. He's he could be a little elusive. He could do things that a little bit outside the box. So he'll pose a threat to any 135-pounder.
Now, why do you think he hasn't gotten the big deal or the manager? Is it because obviously there's pedigree, the name is there? Is it because of the lack of amateur background, or is it just the Hunter story?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the Hunter story. I think, it's, bad business, and it's something that even my dad was dealing with, and I just think it has a lot to do with the business. I think if he had his opportunity, he would shine forth, and you would see. He should be more champion before I should.
Really?
Yeah, he should have. I think he could have been world champion by now, if he was just had the right business behind him. He's been a dog. He's not. Everybody in the gym, all of them, Javante, all of them know who he is. They give him respect, and he got it. He got it.
Oh, good to hear, man. I go to Bones every day or every other day, and I've been definitely making a relationship with him and the rest of the Bones fighters. So, after interviewing him, and I didn't know he sparred both Rolly and Tank. So, let alone that he was at 35 until the day that I interviewed. I thought he was still a welterweight. So, I'm excited to see what comes next in that division. I want to thank you for coming in, man. We appreciate it. I think those are all my questions. You got anything?
No, just looking forward to July the 2nd. Obviously, looking forward to the fight between yourself and Hughie. And
well, I do got to say, are you going to live up to the name? And I don't want you to answer that, regular, but he is the mover. He's the boxer. Do you have to actually collect the bounty and hunt him down?
Yeah, absolutely. It's another bounty on his head, and he's a wanted man. So we gonna go get him. That's what we do. We don't make no excuses. We got to do our job. So I'll be come July 2nd. I'm gonna be pushing the issue for sure.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick intermission, take this picture with Michael Hunter. We'll be right back to answer any questions and take all calls. You know the number to call in, 14255-6952-41. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Actually, Mike, give out your social media for anybody.
Michael Bounty Hunter on Instagram. Michael Hunter, Roman numeral 2 on Twitter.
I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Swell.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.